Let me share a use case with you. So, column statement.
User is member of. Okay, has role, right? Oh no, sorry, is group of, is member of.
Yes. So basically, my requirement is like if this person belong to this particular group, then only he should be able to see this field. Otherwise, he shouldn't.
Hmm.
So for this, what do you think? Like, what should be the steps? What comes in
So
your
first
mind?
of, since it is the same record, so for, before business rule, that is what I understand first, and the basic thing. Okay, and after that, priority agreed on it should be only visible to the user. Uh,
Did you catch the word visible?
okay, UI policy.
UI policy or client script maybe.
Right.
So
UI
it
policy, yes.
so it can't be business rule.
Okay, we should be in the office.
Now we
So
are
we can directly use client script for this. I mean, or
yes.
this.
We can first we have to use client script. But now which type?
Oh. So okay, so this should be is on load.
Yes, on load. Now coming to coding part of client script. That is what we will have to see, check. We have to check in our
So
code if user is member of, as you said, is member of function, right?
so G underscore form if there is any function
Is
available
the
to understand.
is this function available? So that is the case. Is member of is the function.
Not available, is it
It
for
checks
this?
yes.
Okay, okay.
It checks the membership of the group, like of a person for a particular group. But this
Mm-hmm.
function is not available on the client side. So
Okay.
visibility will be controlled through this. But to control the visibility, this particular client script need a condition for checking the membership.
Mm-hmm.
And this function is available on the server side. So
Okay.
now
So
we have
we'll.
to find a
Hmm.
bridge between both of these
Okay.
because this
Okay.
part
Okay.
need to go to the server, this part need to go to the client.
Uh-huh. Right. Right.
So what was the bridge?
Ajax.
Ajax is one way, yes, you can say.
Hmm.
Another way, if you remember, we discussed about display business rule. Hello.
Display business rule. Right. Right. Yeah, I can hear you.
So
Hello.
yeah, display
Yeah.
business
Okay.
rule.
Okay.
So display business rule, under that we have a function called G underscore scratchpad.
Scratchpad. Hmm.
So this is the variable which get passed to the client side, and in client script
Hmm.
you can directly access to it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start. Let's first thing we will create a
This variable
display
at the
business rule,
business. Hmm.
configure business rule.
Tell me also one thing, like as you mentioned that this field should be visible.
Hmm.
So is is there any way we can also control it through ACLs, these fields, or is it only ACL is only applicable for the records or tables? This
You
field.
can control it.
Hmm.
Yes, you can control it, but you can write it through UI calls, this client script as well.
Using client script as well. Okay, but the main purpose of ACL is to control the tables, right? Or
Table, yes, table, and then fields and all those things you have to control. But there, you like that require more logic.
ACL, huh?
Yeah. So like you have to allow table level, field level, all those things are there. So yes, that it can be done from there as well, and it can be done through here as well. So the main purpose of this example, there are certain things when it's not about visibility. There you
Okay.
might get other points as well where you need something from server side to do the validation.
Okay. Okay.
Not about visibility. There could be other parts as well.
Mhm.
So how you will pass
Okay.
the value from display business tool.
Mhm. Okay.
Check. We'll click advanced. We will click display. So what we will do, we'll use where user is equal to GS is the object inside this class that function exists.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
even before that, we have to get the user. So how we get the logged in user? GS dot get user ID. So first, not user ID, we have to get user. So this is the first thing. Then we have to check the membership. So first we have to define a scratchpad variable. So g underscore scratch g underscore scratchpad dot is member. This name can be anything. This is fixed. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Equal to, you can say user dot is member. So this is member of function works on users object.
Okay.
It's not it doesn't work on glide's system object. It works on user object. So from here, this particular thing is the now users object. This function gives me
Yes.
an object of user, and then I am checking whether this user or the logged in user is member of this or not. So if the user will be member of this group, then it will return true. So it means this function will have the true value. And if user is not, then this particular thing will return false. Then this particular variable will have false value.
Okay.
We can save this. And now we can create a client script. So hide priority upgrade downgrade. Then, as you said, it will be on load, yes. Then here, what we can do, we can write if
G
scratchpad equal to
is
equal
member.
that we already checked. We just need to check whether
Yeah.
if that function has returned true, then we will make it
GS underscore form.
not
G
GSG
underscore.
underscore.
G underscore form
dot
dot set visible.
okay, and then the
Then
field
the
name.
field name value of it. That's it, huh?
Yeah, so true false we have to pass there. I just want to get the label of field.
Yeah.
Then we want to be visible, so true. Else,
False.
yes.
Hmm.
Now let's go here. See, field is gone.
Yeah. Hmm.
Did you see there is a space left for that field?
Right.
Now, let's first do one thing. Says underscore user. So if I check service desk, okay, service desk. So whom is member? So let me assign the role first to this group so that they can see the table. You underscore table. Now, if I log in one person of this group, then he should be able to see that field, right?
Hmm.
If I open one of the record, see the field is available.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how. But there are two things which I would like to know you. First thing, did you see like it's gone for admin as well?
Yeah, because he's not a member of right service desk.
Yeah, but generally we try like everything should work for admin. So that if there is
Okay.
any issue, anything, he should be able to have access to most of the things so that he can troubleshoot.
Uh-huh.
In like operations if there is an issue. So we generally try to keep open all the things for admin until unless it's very sensitive or anything like that. Because admin would require the things if there is any issue in future to troubleshoot that. And second
Yeah.
thing, the space has left. What it looking bad, right? It should like form should realign itself like this space should this we created should go up something like that.
Yeah.
So both the things we can do. So we will again go to the client script. First thing, our script should not run for admins. What we can do, we can put one more condition. If g underscore user dot has role admin. Got say, like use case for one more function. If user is not admin, then only run this code.
Hmm.
Okay, so this particular function, what it returns? It returns true or false. If the log,
Non-admin. Hmm.
yeah, if user is like user, or like if I write like this, if I pick only this part, if user will be logged in, user will be admin, like if he would be having the admin role, then this will return true. And at start we put not. That means if user is not, means we reverse the condition. Or you can write it like this as well if you find difficult like understanding that logic. If equal to false.
Hmm.
So this will return either true or false. If user would be having the admin role, then this will return true.
Hmm.
And if user will not have the admin role, then this will return false. So if user is not having the admin role, then this logic should run.
Hmm. Right.
Okay. So now if I will go back and open a new record, admin should be able to see. See, admin can see.
Right.
Ideally, user would also be seeing like member of those group. Apart from now, non-admin plus non-member of service desk group can see it. Cannot see
Hmm.
it. So
Right.
only service desk member plus admin can see it. Any other person cannot see.
Okay.
Now, in terms of reclaiming the space, so let's do one more thing. Now we have to find one more person to check who cannot see. If I grow to group and I put me. Okay, let me assign the role for the table so that they can have the access to table. You. Okay, so now if I pick one member of this team, this is not service desk team, this is application development team, right? And they are not admin also. So now if I impersonate one member from this team, see, he cannot see the field, right?
Hmm.
Now, but space is not gone, so let's work on that part. Again, go to client script, open the client script. So there are two functions in the client script to control the visibility. One we already used and another one is also there. So we used currently set visible. There is one more function called set display.
Hmm.
Set display. This also controls the visibility of a field. So if you will use
Okay.
this will allow another field to reclaim the place.
Okay.
So if I impersonate again to this user, we come and open it. The field is not there and the place has been reclaimed by created. That whole form shifted. Okay. Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So
Okay.
you got the difference, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this is how you can make use of set display and set visible.
Yeah. Okay.
And then and impersonation. Then glide Ajax. See, one way for sending the value of client server side to client is for like small things, or like sending the true false flag, where you can like you can make use of this display business rule.
Hmm.
But there are many places where you may need to have more data, more validations, and many things like. So another way
Okay.
is to use the glide Ajax. Glide Ajax is again another method. Here, one thing
Hmm.
here, you cannot like pass anything from client and based on that get the response from server. That flexibility is not there. So through display witness
Hmm.
rule, you can pass predefined like set of values, like based on some logged in user or any other value, fixed value. But
Hmm.
where there are many places like if we come to our form, then let's say I need to create 2 3 fields here. One for like requested for um, manager email address, requested for manager's phone number, or requested for phone number, like any related information we may need. In catalogs, we
Hmm.
mostly used to see those things like this thing should get auto populated, this thing should come from there, all those things, right? So now
Hmm.
that what will be that if I will change the user, then
Hmm.
at that time based on this user, I just want the manager to be filled in some field or something like that.
Yeah.
Getting my point? So those things you cannot achieve through display business. So now getting the manager information, you may need to glide record in a table, or for any other type of data, you may need to glide record in some table and then set it here.
But why user table must be storing, right? The manager information.
Yeah, manager information will be so I'm saying like manager information is one point. There could be another sorry, there could be another information which you would like to be like populated, pre-populated. Let's say I just want this user assert of this user to be updated here, something like that.
Assert can but.
Like if I create a field here called assert assert of this user. Asset
Okay.
means
Assert.
whatever
Okay.
computer
Okay.
assigned to this user
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
any CI. So those should get
Hmm.
auto-populated. So where that information lies, that information is in the asset table or CMDB or anywhere, right?
Yes.
So you have to populate that here in one of the field, let's say in this configuration item. You want the CI assigned to this user should auto-populate.
Hmm.
If I go to a particular CI form, let's say if I go to Windows Server. So this particular CI, this particular server, I have assigned to like assign the name of system admin to managed by field.
Hmm.
Okay, now let's say my requirement is I will go to this one. The server assigned like managed by that particular requested for should get auto populate in this configuration item. So to auto populate it in
Hmm.
real time, I need to write a client script that will be a on change of client, on change type of client script.
Yes.
Okay, but from where I need to get that from a different table called CMDB
Hmm.
So I need to query a different table. That means I need to write a server side code as well to get the CI managed by the person you select here.
But how we were doing it when we were discussing client script, I mean,
Mm.
on change of one field, other field should be auto-populated. So we were able to achieve it, right? That functionality.
Yeah, that functionality. If it is kind of hard coded thing, then you can achieve. Like if you want to populate the related information of one but another field. So here, what I would say, see if this user is selected, if I go to this particular field, a form,
Hmm.
So what I can get from here, I can get user's name, this first name, last name. But do you see any relationship here where it's showing like which CI user manages?
But can we configure that related list at the bottom?
But that will be a related list. But previously, if you remember, we seen the get reference, and get reference gives you the all the fields of a reference table. So if I talk about,
Correct.
if uh, if I want to populate the manager of this user
Hmm.
in one particular field, let's say I create a manager field, then
Uh-huh.
manager exists on the user table. So I can make use of get reference. But the server relationship is in different table. Even if you will add a related list here, that means that record exists in different table. It's just getting displayed. So get reference only gives you the field, not
For
the
that
related
particular,
relation.
I mean, in case we have two different tables, then it is not possible to
It is
get
not
reference.
possible. Obviously, you can get the record of basically that particular table which is getting referenced, not the other related tables. So this CI, if we talk about
Hello?
this, yeah, hello, hello,
Yeah, I can hear you.
yeah. So this CI, if we talk about this existence CMDB CI table, right?
These are two different table, you mean,
Yeah,
right?
different table. So
Hmm.
we cannot first thing use get reference. We have
Okay,
to
okay,
use another class which can return me some data based on selection of this particular user.
okay.
So I have, that is where we glide ajax comes into the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Even though for this, like getting the manager of the requested for any other detail of the requested for, you can use get reference, but that is not recommended. So again, we should use glide ajax for this purpose as well.
Mm-hmm.
Although we have seen, because there is a function which you need to see the example of, and you might write like where you just need to get one field or something like that, but where you need to pass the huge amount of data, it's always recommended to use this glide ajax only.
So wherever we can make a use of glide reference, there also we can use glide ajax, you mean, right?
Yes, and
So
that
we
is
should forget about
recommended.
yeah, we should forget about reference then, right? And
Yeah, most
better to
of the
use
time try
glide
to
ajax.
avoid that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Then coming to functions of glide ajax provides you two methods of calling the data from server to client. One is the get xml, another one is the get xml wait.
Okay.
So get xml is something when you get the data using get xml function. So that let's discuss get xml wait first. So get xml wait first is something like you selected a user here, okay, and then this client script will send a call to server. That means server need to calculate that data and pass it back to client. In
Client.
between there would be some lag, right? So for
Mm-hmm.
that particular time the form will get freezed.
Okay.
So that is what get xml wait. Basically once you change, client will wait for data to come from server.
Mm-hmm.
So that means this is called as synchronous call. When you
Okay.
called something, and until unless you get the data, system will not allow you to fill the form again. There is another function which is kind of get xml. That is not the synchronous. That is something you change it, system will make call, similar to callback. If you remember the callback
Mm-hmm.
concept,
Yeah.
so it will make the call, and then callback function will, you will define the callback function, and then callback function will process, and in the meantime system will allow you to maybe fill the sort description any other thing.
Okay.
So that is the same application. Now
Okay.
let's implement a use case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first thing, in case of this Glide Ajax, you need a place where you can write the server side code. Client side for like making the call on change of this, you can write a client script. However, for server side, you need a place where you can write the server side code. So
Script
that
include.
is, yeah, you need to write it in script include. That is where your script include comes into the picture.
So mostly we use Ajax in the script include, is it?
Yeah. Ajax will be used in client's script, but script include is something which will have the server side code.
But Ajax is a server function, right?
Ajax is client function. Ajax enables you client to server calling.
Acha, it's a client side only.
Yes,
Ajax.
you write
Okay.
a whole things of Ajax in the client, and basically you make the call, and then in the server side you basically write some server side code, and server returns the code. So server side code, all server side code will be in client, sorry, script include, and
Okay.
client side Ajax will be in the client side code only. So let's say
Okay.
you can give the name here like get managed by CI, get requested requester CI. And ways when you need to like call script include from client, you need to make this client callable true.
And this script is auto populated and
Yeah, this thing will come auto by default. This is the syntax.
Okay.
This will come. And if you need not to like call this script include from client, then you need not to mark this. Like there are many things where like 300 400 lines of code, it's recommended not to write that code in business rule or like in workflows, like put it in uh, script include and call that script include there from there. Or maybe there is a code where you want to use in 50 business rules, right? There like in 50 applications, maybe something like that. So script include provides you reusability as well. So you can put the same as if you will start writing that in business rules or anywhere, like you will write the same code multiple times. But if you will put that code in script include and just call that code in your code, then it will be just single line, something like that.
Okay,
So
understood.
it makes you to enable the reusability. So where this is the place like where you may end up calling in the server side as well. So you can call a script include at server side, at client side both. So
So
while
do we need to
calling,
check this button, client callable, in case we are
then you
calling
need
it
to call it from a client script.
only then? Okay.
Then only. If you are calling it through any server side code, maybe through business rule or client, sorry, workflow or maybe other places, you may call it with in the REST when you will be writing the codes in REST API, building a REST API. Then also you may end up writing a script include. In those cases, you need not to mark this as true. So here we are going to write a client side code, so we are going to mark it as true.
Okay.
Now we have to define a function first. So I will say get managed CIs. This is how you define a new function.
Only comma, not semicolon, is it?
No, it's comma. So if you want to define a new function, basically you can define here multiple function and you can call it as required wherever required. So
we'll just call particular function, I mean get manage CIs or whatever,
yeah.
right?
So similarly, if you want to like, if you want to get some other data, you can define another function there and write your code there, and you can call that function wherever you need. So here I will write where again I need to get the CIs from the CI table. So glide record class comes into the picture. So I will put here CMDB
underscore CI.
CI.
Then what we need from this table?
We need a CI managed by the requester. Any one of the CI, like that person can have multiple CIs, but requirement is just pick any one of them, so and assign it to there. So you may have another use case as well. So what I will do, managed by, in managed by field, the user's name will be there. Managed by is equal to whom? Which user?
Current.
Not current. Here you don't have current object. Here, do you see here? So that managed by would be the person whom I will be selecting. So that thing I will be passing from client script. Just wait, you will get it.
Okay.
Yes, dot get property. It was get property. No, not this one. This dot get parameter. Then so this line is this requested for I will send from client when I will be calling this script into. So this line is, this particular function is to get what is sent from client. So client script will send me the name of requester. So client script, if client script is calling me being script include, then client script need to tell me, okay, for which user you need the managed by, right? Because this script include doesn't know. Script include can just do what? Whatever you tell, like, okay, give me the CIs of this managed by person. So script include need the input from you, like from client script, for which managed by user you want the CI to be returned. So this particular thing will be told by client script, and this line is here to get what is sent by client script. Then this will give me the result, and I will return gr.sysid. The sysid is CI which I found. I will return the sysid of that CI. This is the first part. Second part would be writing the client script. So as this need to be run on chain, so I will say update CI, and then on change, as soon as I change the requested for, the CI should also change.
So we'll be calling here, right, that function.
Yes. So how you will call that? There is a syntax called, again, as you instantiate the glide record class, you have to instantiate that script include, something like that. Then where GA is the object which I am creating new, you have to type glide ajax, and then here you need to pass the, as it's giving you hint, the name of script include which you want to call. Okay, then object dot in second line dot add param, you have to pass here the name of the function which you want to call. Get managed by CI. This was the name of my function. So these two lines are kind of fixed when you are making a glide ajax call. So first line will be like similar. You have to just replace this with the your new script include, whatever script include you are going to call. Then second, this will be all will be same, and here you have to pass the function which function you want to call from, because you can write multiple function inside a script include. So you have to tell which function exactly you are going to call. Then third line, extra what you want to pass to your script include, on the basis of that it should return you some value. So if you remember, I have written there, it need to pass the user for which is it need the CI. So basically what I am saying, I am calling this script include and inside that this function, and I am saying return me the value of CI for the user, which user, G underscore form, or we can use the new value, the user which is basically currently selected. And then GA dot get XML, and here we will define our callback. So I will say process response. And then I need to define my callback function, what it will do. Again, this line is fixed. So this line will get whatever is returned by server. So what server will return? The sysid of CI which you need to set in the form. Then here you can write G underscore form dot set value and CMDB underscore CI, and what you need to set, whatever returned by script include. So script include returns the sysid and that value is under answer.
Okay. Looks little complicated as of now.
Bit of, yeah.
This sys spam is something keyword,
Fixed.
right?
Yeah, keywords.
Fixed.
So what it does exactly, let me now explain it to you. So here you given the name in of the client, script include. And then here you have given the function inside that script include. So these two lines are
The
going
function
to,
which we created in script include.
yeah. So you can have multiple function inside a script include, as I explained, right? So which particular function here you want. So like you may end up writing like four function, like this client script is setting this, and there could be another client script which are setting something else on different condition. Now you need not to create every time a new script include where you need to make a glide ajax. If you are using like same module and it's kind of same requirement, then you create the one script include and create the function inside that. So this is what here. Then if we go to our script include, then here we written this line. This line is saying sysparam underscore requested for. So whatever requested for, you are passing from there, this line is getting, because by the logic, this script include need to return the CI which is managed by a user. And who will be that user? That user will be the requested for. So who knows the user? Client script. So client script will have to tell script include I need managed by a CI for so and so user. So that's why this line is basically passing the sys ID of user to the client script. And the client script is going to query the CIs managed by this user from the CI table. And then this getXML is making the call and defining a callback function. And here we are defining the callback function definition. So this is similar to like it made a call to server. This whole thing made a call to server with the specified parameter, and then it asks the callback function to do, okay, now I have made the call, there will be a response coming from the server, you just get it and set it to the CI field. Okay, so this is how, and this is again fixed. Whatever you will write here as part of return, that particular thing will be available in this answer. So I return that CI sysID, and that's why I am setting the answer to the CI field. Now let's just go to the demo table. Let me change. I don't think this user is going to have any CI. Let me select system admin again. Okay, nothing came. So there is some error. So what I can do, I will go to my client script. Requested for is correct, and new value, okay. Return.
But we don't need to mention Ajax anyway specifically, right?
Here it's there, right? Glide Ajax.
Oh, okay.
And first thing, let's see if this script include is getting called. Alert, I1, and then put an alert inside this function and check if we are getting anything in answer.
No, but if you see that bracket is already closed before alert, so it is
Where?
before alert, if bracket.
That is for, I don't want to run it on onload and for the blank value. If you remember, these functions are to stop running on the onload.
But do we need to mention else for some condition or no?
No, it will not go in the loop. When I don't want to run my code on onload and when the value is empty. Plus, I just put here. So let me see if I'm getting any alert. to demo. User. Okay, the script is getting called. Then it is not going inside the loop. If I select system admin here, first is fine. Okay, it's not going inside the callback function. Okay, so what is missing? Let's go back to script and script. Oh, I missed this part. So this response need to come here.
What
So
is this
many,
response?
this is something like callback will get what is sent by server again, and then
So that is
inside,
also keyword, right?
yeah, keyword. So most of the thing, these keywords you will find fixed here. So now let's just go to demo. First loop. Still not going inside the second loop.
But I think you need to select right system administration because Able Tutor may not have an ACI managed
But
by
it
himself.
should go inside the loop. That is what. It should give me the alert. If he doesn't have, then it should give me the blank. Thing is, it's not going inside the loop. Am I making any mistake? Right, this script. So this is fine. This is fine. Param requested for. This is param. And this is param. This is param. Requested underscore for. It is correct. Process. This doesn't make any difference. This doesn't make any difference. Okay. This shouldn't be string, otherwise it will become a string. This is fine. This is fine. Sometimes we make small mistakes in the code. They are hard to find.
Okay.
Let's change it. First loop, second loop. Yeah, so it passed null basically. This particular user doesn't have any CI which is managed by. So if I select now system admin, first loop, second loop, and see, it's automatically get assigned. So that is where you make use of this glide Ajax.
So there is another requirement